Coming to the next, general love. What do you feel for common people around you? Your friends, your relatives, acquaintances. How does a sadhak handle that? Again, these feelings are bound to arise. Can't escape them. You can't not love people around you. And yes, sometimes that love is a source of major pain in your life, depression, a lot of hurt you go through. Because the people you love don't always do the things you want or you expect. And therefore there is a lot of pain. So should you as a sadhak stop loving people? Should you become cold? Can you be a cold fish? Can you be a piece of ice? Can you be a rock? And not love people, stop loving people just because you're a sadhak, you're on spiritual path. No, can't do that. On the contrary, you'll go away from your very being if you stop loving people. Here the primary aspect that you have to keep in mind is attachment, or what they call moha. We get attached to people we love. We think it's synonymous. It's not. They're as different as chalk and cheese. Attachment is not love, and vice versa. Attachment is fear. Fear of losing somebody's attachment. But that becomes a pitfall in all our relationships. I'm saying other than the romantic one. We get too attached. We fear losing the people. We expect so much. We expect people to behave in a certain way, to do things we want them to do, not realizing that is never going to happen. And the disappointment that you face in these relationships takes a toll on you. That throws you off the path many a times. Many a times. You feel lost and defeated. Why? Because you have become attached to the people you love. Your expectations from these people are set by you, which are never going to be met by the people you love. So that becomes a cause for a lot of disturbance and imbalance in your life. So as a sadhak, you have to watch out for attachment. The more attached you are, the more at risk is your spiritual growth. Because it is bound to bring some kind of pain, some kind of suffering. At some point in your life, your attachment will hit you back, no matter what you do. And as I said, it is not synonymous with love. Attachment is fear-based. It stems from the feeling of insecurity and fear of losing that person. That is when you say, I'm very attached to that person. So it is a negative, it's not a positive. Love is a positive. Attachment is a negative. Therefore, the second aspect of love, that is the general love that a person has for people, this is what you have to take care of. That is your attachment to people. And the lesser you have, the more you progress, the more you will understand that that attachment is completely unnecessary. You can love without attachment. You can love without obsession. Or wanting to possess that person. Because the moment those things come in, those feelings come in, you are setting the grounds for derailing yourself from this path. So love is not bad. Yes, the sadhak can love and should love. But these are the pitfalls. And they have to be dealt with, they have to be taken care of. The third aspect of love. Now we have covered the normal human spectrum by and large. Romantic love and love in general. Now we come to the third aspect, which is a slightly rarefied level, which is universal love. Now universal love is, it doesn't arise naturally like romantic love or like the love you have for human beings, other human beings. It is a cultivated feeling. It doesn't come naturally, but as you walk down this path, as you purify your negativities, yes, a certain aspect within you opens up, which is the quality of universal love, where the lines that demarcate people start getting blurred. A strong component of compassion comes in. You don't see people in their roles as personality or the roles they play in your life. You more or less start seeing them as individual souls on their own journey. Yes, this is the time when you have to, I would say, view people outside the role that they play, because many of them are going to play the role of the villain in your life. Not only in your life, in the life of others also. But if you continue to see that role of the villain and not see the reason or the purpose behind that role, you cannot develop universal love. Now you say, but why should I develop universal love? Well, that is a stepping stone for the fourth stage. But it is also an important part of the learning lesson that your soul goes through. Because till you see people in their personalities, till you see people only in the role that they are playing, and many of them are playing the role of the villain, that means your awareness levels are abysmally low. You don't see the grand plan. You don't see that these are actually wonderful souls who have contracted to play a certain part in your destiny. That means you're still in ignorance. You're steeped in that same ignorance that has kept you miserable for all these lifetimes. Therefore, developing universal love is a quality that you will have to develop within you as you progress. It is inevitable. And as you see people as individual souls who are here with you, playing different roles, then the line starts blurring. Then those lines of relationship and friendship and all the other compartmentalization that we do of people, even as different communities, different races, different groups of people, different beliefs of people, all those lines start to blur. I mean, only then can you call it universal love, otherwise how will it be universal? But that has to develop at a certain stage of your journey, of your path. It has to develop within you. It is inevitable. But as I said, it is slightly cultivated. It doesn't come naturally. It comes only with a very high level of awareness and with certain purification that takes place with the sadhana that you do, with the practices that you do. Then that feeling comes in, then that awareness comes in, then you start viewing people without those boundaries, without those little compartments that you make and put them into. And that feeling of universal love, that itself is a major achievement on your spiritual path. It also forms the basis for the next aspect of love that you will encounter. That is universal unconditional love. Now, unconditional love is probably the most misused and abused word. Oh, people love to use it. Nobody I know ever practices it. I've rarely ever seen it in action. Unconditional love. It's very difficult. And universal unconditional love, extremely rare. And why is that? That is because when you say unconditional love, you know what it means? It means one thing. There is no personal agenda in that love. It means there is give. There is no take. No take back. That is unconditional universal love. That is what divinity has for you. That is how God loves you. Universal unconditional love. Only give. No take. We can't even imagine it. We can't even imagine it. Our first instinct of giving is, what will I get back in this? That's human. Fair enough. I'm not saying anything wrong with that. But we like to use this phrase, oh, I have unconditional love for you, or I have unconditional love for so and so person. You don't even know the meaning of that. It means you only have to give. You cannot even have the thought of taking back. Even that thought should not arise. that I need to take back something. That is unconditional. A lot of times you may not take something in a relationship, but at least you have the expectation, at least you get miserable because you're not taking back something, or you're expecting something and you crush that expectation. That is not unconditional love. Even the thought should not arise. That is very difficult. Because that is really divine love. That is what divinity has for you. Only give. Doesn't want anything back. Imagine if divinity had to have expectations from you. My God. You have to go to a psychiatrist every second day. Because we would be so miserable in fulfilling those expectations. So, the fourth aspect of love is universal unconditional love. These are the four phases, or these are the four aspects of love that a sadhak, a spiritual practitioner, encounters and has to deal with. The first two, they come naturally. As I said, you have to deal with them. The first one with responsibility and making sure you don't mess up your karmic slate in a relationship, in a one-to-one relationship. The second, attachment. Don't let attachment devour you. Don't let it make you miserable, sad, bitter, and frustrated. If you know how to deal with these two, yes, the third one will blossom. The universal love will blossom. It's cultivated. You have to bring it out from within you. And as I said, as you progress, as you rarefy your mind, it's your mental purity that brings about universal love. Because the more mental purity you have, the less you will see people in black and white. The less you will discriminate. The less you will see them in their roles as villain. The less you will see of personality, and the more you'll see them as evolving souls. And this will bring about a change. This will bring about universal love. And of course, if you master that, then you can attempt unconditional universal love, where you only and only give. There is not even a thought of taking back anything. Long way to go for that. But yes, you must keep it as a goal. That doesn't mean you don't aim for it. But don't kid yourself by saying, oh, I have unconditional love. That's extremely rare, extremely difficult to practice. So this is how a sadhak or a spiritual practitioner deals with the emotion of love. So you don't need to be confused. You don't need to think that if you walk on the spiritual path, love has to be packaged and executed out of your life or surgically removed from your being. No. It will be there, and you have to learn to deal with it, and you have to learn to rarefy it to its higher level. That is what is required, not trying to fight it. Because I know a lot of people feel they have to fight this emotion to be pure. What rubbish. There's nothing impure about it. In the first place, how can it be rarefied when there's nothing impure about it? It's a very pure emotion. It's the only emotion other than humor or other than joy that comes from the divine. How can you purify something like that? So your perspective has to change. And well, end of the day, yes, there are many of these sayings, the one-liners that now come on Facebook and YouTube. And God is love and love is God. Yes, this is why they say that. That is universal, unconditional love. We can aim for that. We should aim for that. Someday, sometime in the future, at some stage of your evolution, I hope you experience it, you will experience it. And it is the most liberating moment of your being. When you don't even have the thought of taking something back. When you only give. And you give with happiness, and not like you have to give it so you give it. I mean, you give it as a natural consequence of what you are and who you are. Not because your guru is poking you from behind and give. So this is how a sadhak has to gear himself or herself for love in his or her life, and not run away from it or not try to, as I said, surgically remove it. It's not possible.